Hello, we're going to have a look at the body of the letter, so I'm going to read it through first. It's really got a lovely structure. Dear Miss Pace, I'm writing to request a permission for Monday, Wednesday and Friday next week. I study in intermediate level and I have classes 4 times a week from Monday to Friday at 1 to 5, and next week I will have 3 dental appointments due to a course of urgent dental appointment. As my dentist is located in Kimber Street, I also need 45 minutes for travelling time. Therefore, I need to leave my classes early at 2 o'clock in order to attend on time. I would request you to grant me permission to leave my classes early on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Yours sincerely, Pia Mardy. So basically, the first important point about the body of your letter is that first bit, Dear Miss Pace, fits with the ending, yours sincerely. Well done. So now we're going to have a look at some of the areas that could be tightened up, maybe somewhere where you might have made a little bit of an error, or something extra to learn. So first of all, I am writing to request a permission. So if you look at where I've written that number 1, we usually say in English, permission to. Permission to. So I'm writing to request permission to, and then we have to look at the second bit, which is what you did at the bottom. What are you writing permission for? So the question is, what are you writing permission for? So we don't write the word for in our answer. I'm writing to request permission to, and then you did it at the bottom, leave my classes early. So I'm writing to request permission to leave my classes early on Monday, Wednesday and Friday next week. Would be a perfect paragraph. And just to show that it is a paragraph, don't forget to leave that line between each of your paragraphs, because this, when you can see all the words all going in a straight line there, it's called block paragraphing. So the next paragraph begins with I study. And you've written, I study in intermediate level. The most important thing about that is the phrase, because in English, when we're talking about a level, we would always use the word at. So the word at links with the word level. So I study at intermediate level. I study at level 1. I study at entry level. So in English, just remember that when you're talking about a level, you use that word at. So that would make your sentence, I study at intermediate level. And I have classes 4 times a week. That's great. So the thing that happens next, when you've written from, I have classes 4 times a week from Monday to Friday. That might be something you say, but in English you'd probably shorten it. And what you would do is you would just take out that word from, so that it would become, I have classes 4 times a week, comma, Monday to Friday from 1 till 5 o'clock. So can you see where that word from goes? The word from comes after the names of the day and just before the time to identify what time you do those classes. That's a really good bit of information. So think about how that has worked, because the next bit that's important is looking at the length of that sentence. So if I just pull the video out like this, can you see that you've said it would go, I study at intermediate level and I have classes 4 times a week, Monday to Friday from 1 to 5 o'clock. That's brilliant. But then you put the word and. So what I'm recommending is that you look at the length of your sentence and say, that's the amount of information that I want to give. And then I'm moving on to another part of information, so I need a new sentence. So all I've done with that number 5 is say, perhaps at that point, take out the word and put a full stop. So your information is, I study at intermediate level and I have classes 4 times a week, Monday to Friday from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, full stop. Next week, what a brilliant way to begin your sentence, because you've used that time signaller next. Next week, I will have 3 dental appointments. So, we would say, next week, I have. So instead of saying next week I will have, we say next week I have. Next week I have 3 dental appointments. And I'm suggesting by that number 7 there that at that point you put another full stop. There's a bit of information for the person to take in. This is the key bit of information. You have 3 dental appointments, not just 1. So then we move on with the sentence, and we need to have a look at how are we going to add to the word due to here when we've actually taken off the sentence and put a full stop there. What I'm suggesting is that you say, next week I will have 3 dental appointments, full stop. This is due. So this is a phrase we would use. So where you've written the word due, we put this is due to, don't forget that article A, yes? This is due to a course of urgent. That's a brilliant phrase, set of phrases. This is due to a course of urgent, and then what you've put there, maybe you've made a little mistake. This is due to a course of urgent dental appointment. Does that make sense to you? Because I would suggest you use the word treatment, dental treatment. So where I've written number 9, I'm saying this is due to a course of urgent dental treatment. That's an excellent phrase. And the fact that you've got that word urgent in, it's already making your reader persuaded about the fact that you do need to have that time off. And then we move on to adding a little bit more of information, which I was really impressed with. Where is your dentist? It's quite a nice phrase, this. As my dentist is located in Kimberworth Street. What a fantastic way to begin a sentence. I also need 45 minutes for travelling time. I think you can leave that as that is, but I've also added in that sometimes English people might take out that 4 and say 45 minutes travelling time. So instead of saying 4 travelling time. Up to you on that one, because you can keep either of those phrases in. And I think that first bit is so fantastic, as my dentist is. It's a really good way to start a paragraph. Then you move on to another linking word, which is also very supportive. Therefore, I need to leave my classes early at 2 o'clock in order to attend on time. That's fantastic, because that gets in your signalling word, therefore. It also identifies the time, and it's a very accurate sentence there to end that paragraph. Then you move on to your last paragraph, and I'm a little bit confused by this, so I wonder if I could just make some suggestions. Let me read it to you to see what you think. I would request you to grant me permission. Now, the phrase grant me permission is quite accurate, yes, and you are requesting, but I wonder if for that one there you would say something extra, maybe I hope that, rather than would. I hope that you can grant me permission. Or I trust that you can grant me permission. So you can say I hope or I trust that you can grant me permission to. And that's a much better phrase because the ending bit is absolutely spot on. I hope that you can grant me permission to leave my classes early on Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and that rounds off the whole letter, and that's really excellent because then it ends off with yours sincerely and who that is from. I hope that looking at that letter in that way and just having a look at some of these phrases here gives you an idea of how you can tighten up the way that you write and think about how do we make it more formal so that we don't add in too many words, and at the same time we persuade the reader by making sure that we don't put too much information in the centre, in the letter itself, in the sentences. So that was really excellent. Well done. Remember, all these suggestions that I'm making is to make your letter perfect. So I really like the way you've planned it. I love some of those phrases in there. Let's tighten them up a little bit, and well done. Talk to you soon. Bye.